I'm going to show you the 5 greatest plugins that can take any out-of-the-box sound and add serious depth and energy to them. So if you ever find that your sound overall lacks a bit of spark and energy, then this is the video for you. And of course, maybe you'll find a plugin that you can add to your arsenal. By the way, these are a list of free and paid plugins. None of these plugin companies paid me to say any of this. This is not an ad. I linked all these plugins below. Let's get into the video. The first plugin on this list is a little plugin called OTT. Easiest way to put it is that it squeezes sounds so hard that it just makes them sound bigger and more present. I like using OTT on lead melodies and vocals. So here we have a cute little melody. Sounds like this. So what I would do to add presence to this melody is grab OTT, and there's one knob that I will ever only touch on OTT, and that is the depth knob. The rest of the knobs I don't really pay much attention to. So if we add OTT to our little melody here, you can hear at the click of a button how much presence was just added to that melody. So what OTT is really good at is adding punchiness to your sound and enhancing the reverb and the delay. So if we take this counter melody here, this piano, this melody is gorgeous, but I just feel like it could be a little bit more present in the overall arrangement. So if we take this melody, add some OTT to it, just enhances it. And if we play everything back, if we remove OTT from both of these instruments, we lose all of that dominating presence, and that's why I love OTT. Next plugin on this list is called RC20. This is my favorite plugin in the world, and the reason I like it so much is because it's really good at adding dirt and degrading our overly polished and clean sounds. In today's world, all of the sounds available to us digital producers all sound the same, and they're all squeaky clean. And this is why I put RC20 on literally every sound, just to add a little bit of dirt to my sounds and avoid sounding just like everybody else. Here's a set of chords playing a very common synth sound. That is a great sound, but any producer can use that sound. RC20 has 6 things that we could do to this sound to add some character to it. First thing I always do is add the noise, and I put this follow knob all the way up. So what it does is it adds noise to every trigger. So if you listen closely, you can hear every trigger has a little puff of air. And then I add a little bit of wobble. It makes the pitch of the sound a little bit imperfect. Here's it all the way up. I don't put it all the way up though. I just add a little bit. And I'll go ahead to digital, add a little bit of dirt with this. Like that. Then my favorite module on RC20 is its reverb module. This reverb sounds so bad that it's actually really good. And you can even get dangerous and do something like this. Isn't that nuts? Like every reverb plugin in the world is clean and futuristic and magnificent, and this one's tinny and cheap. It's genius. And really, you could just spend all day doing any amount of all of these things and get a different sound every time. It's great. I highly recommend it. The next plugin on this list is called Volume Shaper. Volume Shaper is an interactive LFO tool, and it works like this. If we take a sound like this, we can add some movement to it with a tool like this. Then you can even adjust the curve to sound really unique. You can adjust the speed of the LFO. If you ever wonder how your favorite artists do those cool wobbly synth sounds, it's usually with an LFO style tool like this. When I say LFO style tool, there are a lot of tools that do what this does. Volume Shaper's not the only one out there, but it has a little edge, and I'll talk about that in a minute here. So, the two most common places you'll hear or use a plugin like this is in future bass songs with a lot of wobbly synths, or the most common place would be in house music where artists use a plugin like this to sidechain all the synths to the kick. So if they have a kick like this and a set of chords, you would use a plugin like this to drop in a side chain at a length of 4 on the floor. And it adds that ducking effect for movement and to move everything away from the kick. But it doesn't have to end there. With an LFO tool like Volume Shaper, you can add serious movement to anything. And one of my favorite places to do that is with atmospheres. So here's a set of chords. It's a very dry, dull sound. So to add some atmosphere and movement, I'll typically take a vocal sample like this. Again, very dry, not a whole lot of movement here. So I'm going to add some reverb. I'm going to use Valhalla Shimmer for this one. Then I'm going to load up Shaperbox, start from scratch, and we'll add a movement of every half bar. I'm going to add some movement by adding this little ducking effect. But I'm going to shape the ducking effect. Isn't that like heavenly? Listen to how much energy those atmospheres add to these chords now. Wow. That is moving. That is powerful. Now if we turn off the reverb and the volume shaper, it's cool. It's kind of like gothic a little. But if we add all that movement, it's just game over. It's just like you're not... I love it so much. So, that was Volume Shaper. Next plugin on this list is called Pan Shaper. And this is where I think Volume Shaper has an edge over other LFO plugins in this space. With Volume Shaper and Pan Shaper, you have the choice to use them as a bundle called Shaperbox 2, which is actually a whole bunch of different LFO style tools that modulate different things like time, crush, filter, pan, volume, and width. My favorite two is the volume and the pan module. Let's go ahead and check out the pan module. Panning Shaper can add a whole new dimension of movement by making this swell go from ear to ear. So I'm just going to turn it on, and I made a little LFO path like this. The sound's going to swing into the left ear and then swing into the right ear every 2 bars. So let's go ahead and play this. Listen closely to the panning effect now added to this sound. There is not a tool on this planet that can add that much movement to a single sound with a single plugin. So yeah, That's panning shaper. Go ahead and get to the next plugin. The final plugin on this list is called Thermal by Output. Thermal is the ultimate sound design plugin for 2 reasons. The first reason is that it's really innovative, and there are no plugins out there like it, and it would be really hard to replicate. And the second reason is that you don't even have to know how to use all these complex controls because the presets are so good. Like, there's all this cool control in here that I've honestly never touched, because all I do with this plugin is I add it to a sound, and then what I'll do is just start sifting through the presets, and every preset gives me a different story. Nothing like it out there. Got Bit Crusher here. Listen to that, is unbelievable. And once you find like a weird preset that you really like, you start moving this thing around and the plugin changes the sound. And you could just lose yourself in the craziest sound design you've ever heard. Well, there you go, guys. This wraps up my 5 plugins video. If you would like to learn more about every element of music production under my personal guidance, go ahead and check out the link at the top of the description below. I have a music production course program that comes with 4 cutting-edge courses, along with access to my inner circle, where you can send me your songs for unlimited track feedback and also ask me any music production question that you would like. If this sounds like something that interests you, there's a link at the top of the description below. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for the next video.